Hello lovelies, and welcome to my video. I am Amanda Matthews, a homeopathic fertility specialist, and I am here to talk to you today about ovulation and periods. So here's a complicated question. Do I still have a period if I'm not ovulating? The short answer is yes, you can still have a period when you're not ovulating. But it's not actually a period. What it's called is breakthrough bleeding. Okay, you ready? Let's get into it. When you have a normal period, the estrogen levels build throughout the month. At the time of ovulation, your pituitary sends out a hormone, an LH hormone, that goes into the reproductive system. This leaves behind a corpus luteum, which sends out progesterone levels, and if it is a viable pregnancy, these progesterone levels will support and keep that baby growing all pregnancy long. And if it's not a fertilized egg, the progesterone levels go back down, estrogen levels rise again, and the reproductive system sheds all that lining. When you have breakthrough bleeding, this process isn't happening. Your estrogen levels are rising, and the LH hormone is not being released to tell your body to make that progesterone. However, at the end of the month, or at the end of your cycle, your body is still releasing that estrogen-soaked lining as a cleanse, which is called breakthrough bleeding, which is good because if it didn't, we would have a big, fatty, saturated endometrial lining, and that would not be fun to deal with. So, two things that we are looking at here is one, the pituitary gland not making an LH hormone, and two, progesterone levels not being produced. Okay, so how can you tell if you're ovulating? It's a good idea to take your basal temperature, get online and look into that, and maybe chart it for a month or 2 or 3 to see if your temperature rises when you ovulate. When those estrogen levels goes up and the LH hormone is released, your temperature rises. So that's a good way to check and see if you're actually ovulating. Some other symptoms might be some light cramping in the back, the lower back. Also, if you want to, it's a good idea to take an ovulation test. These are affordable, and it's an easy way to kind of check in and just make sure that your body's actually ovulating, because you can be having periods or what you think are periods that might not actually be ovulation. So now let's get into what we can do if you're not ovulating. If you are getting a negative on those ovulation tests, or if you just feel like you're somebody that's not ovulating but you are having breakthrough bleeding, we want to first address the pituitary gland. So one good way to work on the pituitary gland is to get a foot zone treatment or a theta healing treatment, which is a treatment that I offer. It's something that I use to help keep the body aligned and turn on all the glands and make sure all the glands are working in harmony. Another way to get the pituitary gland to be working better and creating those hormones is to kind of rearrange your sleep cycle. So you want to try to go to bed before 10 or right at 10 o'clock at night if you can, and you want to wake up with the sun. And this is going to kind of reset the body, and at night during these critical hours is when your body actually makes this LH hormone. So getting these hours of rest, even if your mind won't shut off, even if you are just resting your body, doing some deep breathing while you're resting, those are good ideas to get the body retrained to make those LH hormones for us. Another thing to do is work on the adrenal glands, which I talked about in another video, but I'll go over it again here. The adrenal glands are what are in control of those hormone cocktails that our body is producing all the time. Another thing the adrenal glands are in charge of is if we are in fight or flight mode. If you're in fight mode all the time, you're very high stressed, your sleep cycles are off, your body is going to tell your inner organs that it is in stress mode and not to procreate because it's too dangerous, it's too high risk, it's too stressful. Versus if we are in the mode of the adrenals are good, our sleep cycles are good, the adrenals are happy, our body is then in a place where it feels safe, it feels protected, and it feels it's a good time to reproduce. This is kind of going back to the fact that we are mammals, and that is our natural survival instinct is to first make sure our environment is safe before bringing a baby into the world. So some ways we can work on our adrenal glands is to snack very often. Just a little snack about the size of your palm every 2 to 3 hours is going to tell your body we're not starving, we are not running, we are safe, we have snacks, we sleep, we slept last night. These are all good things to tell your body. I recommend snacking on fruits and vegetables. Plant-based snacks are always best because they are lower in fats and they are lower in proteins. So, like a good example of a snack would be some apple slices and some carrots, some celery sticks and some dates, dried mangoes. Figs are amazing for the reproductive system. A little smoothie, half of a sandwich. These are good ways to kind of tell the body everything's good and everything's great. And if you're at work, you can just grab a piece of an apple slice and stuff it in your mouth and then go on with your day. And this is going to help keep your stress levels balanced out. The next thing to do is to get yourself some teas. Nettle tea is wonderful for the adrenals and for calming down that stressed out body. Another great one is licorice root tea. That's great for the adrenals for the morning to wake up the adrenals and help them to wake up and realize that it's time to start the day. Ashwagandha tea is a really good one to settle down with at night. Tells your body, okay, it's time to relax, it's time to sleep, it's time to make those hormones, it's time to reset. There are many ways that we can nurture our adrenals, and most of them do come down to managing our stress levels, getting a good amount of sleep, staying hydrated, and taking those supplements that I just mentioned. Okay, I think that's all I have for you, and I want you to know that I support you 100%. I hope this is your month. I love you, and thank you so much for visiting this video. I will be sending out more videos in the future, so you can look for that. And I will see you really soon.